In your vote this morning, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek just announced that she will officially seek a second term in next year's election.
Fox 4's Joe Mathiathil is here now with more on the governor's announcement and some of the potential challengers she could meet on the November ballot. Joe?
Well, guys, in a statement released this morning, the Kotek reelection campaign said the governor would seek reelection to, quote, continue standing up for people, defending Oregon values, and delivering results for working families. Kotek was elected in 2022 to succeed fellow Democrat Kate Brown as governor. In today's announcement, the campaign announced that she has already been endorsed by a number of unions, advocacy groups, and elected officials. The governor says in the next election that, in her words, Oregon's values will be on the line. She highlighted her opposition to a number of Trump administration policies in recent months, such as National Guard deployment in Portland and the freezing of SNAP benefits during the government shutdown. Meanwhile, the governor has had her own interstate political battles as well, including her very public push for a transportation funding bill that she signed, but it may now be challenged in a statewide referendum. In her statement this morning, Governor Kotek previewed a message that will likely be aimed at a Republican challenger next year. She says, quote, "The choice is between a governor who will stand up for Oregon and protect what we believe in, or a governor who will let Donald Trump do whatever he wants. I will always stand with Oregonians." Of course, we don't know who will challenge the governor in the November election. Candidates for each party, including the governor, must first win their primaries to get on that ballot. Now, already Republican State Senator Christine Drazen has announced that she will once again seek the Republican nomination for governor. Kotek defeated Drazen to become governor in 2022, but remember, that was also a three-person race where independent Betsy Johnson was on the ballot and won almost 9% of the statewide vote. So it could be a very different dynamic next year if she wins the nomination. Meanwhile, sources close to former gubernatorial candidate, another former candidate, Chris Dudley, says he's considering another run at the office. The Republican and former Trailblazer lost a close race to John Kitzhaber back in 2010. So we have to wait and see what other candidates will throw their hats into the ring. The Oregon primary for all the parties will be held on May 19th, and then the winners of that will face off in the November general election. Back to you.